guy is Blitz. We have had a profusion of puppies showing up at PopCap lately. Is a Shiba Inu Shih Tzu mix who belongs to Connie, one of our fantastic UX designers. Very sleepy, yawning puppies. Aww. He wanted to come say hi and get his moment in the limelight and be the star for the week. So, say hi, Blitz. Hey. All right, I'm going to go let you run free while I do the rest of the episode. Sound good? All right, good deal. There you go. All right. So, now that you've met one of our fantastic PopCap puppies, let's get right into this week's Tiki Tip. Kahunga! So we're talking about curve clears this week. You've probably gotten curve clears whether you know it or not. And you hear about it when you get to the end of a curve, basically when you have the rollout come out. If you're able to destroy the chain of balls all the way back to where they enter, you'll get a curve clear bonus. Now this starts at a base value of, I believe it's 2,000 points at the very, very beginning of your game. And they get more points as you go further into your game. So the longer you play, the later in your game you get a curve clear, the more points it's going to be worth to you. Now these aren't necessarily huge points like massive fruit bonuses or massive gap shot bonuses, but especially if you're getting late in the game, they can be tens of thousands of points, and that can make the difference between first place in your leaderboard and second or third or fourth. Depends on how tight your leaderboard is. So try them out, and a really good place to try them is on this week's new board, which is called Life's a Beach. As you'll see, it's a beach. This is actually a reskin of a previous board that we've had that's pretty challenging. So I'm not expecting the same kind of score some of you have been getting the last couple weeks. But as you'll see, it's got one side that's a really, really long rollout, and the other side is a very, very short rollout. So with curve clears on that short rollout, they can be really easy to get actually. So if you get a few of them in a game, it can really add up quickly. Now, there's a lot of really good opportunity in this, okay? You can get gap shots quite easily, but you have to be a little bit patient to set them up. And patience on this can be tough because that middle rollout is so short, it can get to the end before you even know it. So I would try a few different things. I'd try looking at your normal power-ups, like your time ball power-ups, your multiplier power-ups that are always helpful no matter what board you're on. But things like bombs or chain blasts can be nice here because they'll clear big areas and they'll also help you keep some space to create gap shots and to make sure that shorter middle rollout doesn't get ahead of you. So try those things out and see how they work for you. One other thing I want to ask you to do, please this week send me your questions to popcapscott@facebook.com. Next week I'm going to do a whole show answering user questions. So I need your questions so I can answer them. Now, there's a lot of viewers, so I may not get to every single question, but I'll try to do as many as I can and group as many of them as I can to get the most popular issues covered. So help me, help you out with the information you want to know about, and we'll see you next week on another episode of Tiki Talk. Bye. You kind of look like this thing.